Hi, my name is Clickbait and this is Trinity.
Dodge this.
No, but seriously, there is a reason why I'm using the name of Trinity from the Matrix as a name for my investing strategy beyond just clickbait. Trinity means three. And in this video, I'll be sharing my personal investment strategy for now and the future, which I've split up into three categories, Trinity of investing. And I think it's quite relevant because there are only really three things that I invest in. But on a side note, how awesome is it that the Matrix is coming out again? The fourth one! The Matrix, the original, is my all-time favorite movie, so I'm so excited to see what they do for this one. But anyway, back to the investment strategy. You might be surprised at the end of this video to see how boring, minimal, and slow my investing strategy is. But there is a very specific reason for this, in the words of the famous Warren Buffett. Why diversification is only required when investors do not understand what they are doing. I think a lot of people think that they have to try everything in investing, to diversify your portfolio. And also to the novice with finances, if you hear someone investing in three things, boring, but if you hear someone that's investing in everything, crypto, stock, S&Ps, your auntie's business, a hot dog stand, real estate, etc., you just sound so impressive and you must know what you're doing, right? In my opinion, if you want subpar results, it's a really good idea to spread yourself out too thin. I personally like the approach of learning something really well and learning out the different ways of making money in that category and honing in and becoming an expert at that thing. Otherwise, it's a bit too overwhelming. So focusing on just a very small number of investment strategies, that, in my opinion, is the best way to go. Hi, my name is Sorella Moore and welcome to this Finance and Freedom channel. If you are new here, welcome and make sure you subscribe because you get access to amazing information all for free on all things finance and freedom. We release videos every Tuesday and Thursday. Also, if you find value from this video, please make sure you like because a simple like helps us tremendously in getting the message of finance and freedom out to the world, which we believe is a human right. Secondly, we have this epic newsletter that so many people are raving about, something that doesn't often happen with newsletters. Beautifully written stories that are educational at the same time. So if you want to learn more about finance and freedom, immerse yourself into reading short stories, check out the link in the bio. And we have only a very small amount of time left to pre-order our course membership combo. You get lifetime access for a huge discount, link in the bio to find out more. But essentially, I'm just so excited to have this community of people ready to go when we launch October 1st. Having a community of like-minded people that don't believe that money is the root of all evil or whatever else you might be surrounded by, people that don't understand money, don't care to understand money, plus all the other aspects of this course membership combo. It's going to be great. So hopefully we'll see you over there. Link in bio to find out more. I personally love talking about my investment strategy because I find that I'm one of the that's a bit of an exaggeration. I'm one of the few people that talk about finances online that like to talk about the strategies that I do. So many of them, of the other channels, dismiss my strategy straight away. And I find it kind of hilarious because yay, more for me. My methods of investing are often classified as too boring, too expensive to get into, too slow. And often I find YouTubers or financial educators on this platform talking about investing in the S&P 500 or investment funds or whatnot, which is very smart, of course, different things for different people. But there are two reasons why I personally don't invest in these. Firstly, in my opinion, we're in one of the biggest financial bubbles of all time, and I do believe that it is about to go pop. And by investing in these major exchange traded funds, otherwise known as ETFs, you are putting your money right into the bubble. But secondly, when you're investing in these large funds, you're investing into some of the world's biggest companies. The S&P 500, for example, it is a fund that is dedicated to the 500 largest companies in the world. Some of these companies include ExxonMobil, Coca-Cola, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's, and so much more. Companies that have extremely damaging practices, which I personally don't agree with. Why on earth would I want to invest in companies that are destroying humanity or destroying the planet? Money is just one thing, but if it doesn't fit my ethics, then I don't want to have anything to do with that. I personally believe that our money is a direct vote for our future. So what kind of a vote are you casting with your own money? So now I'll be sharing my investment strategy, but when I say investments, I am talking about the active investments that actually make actively money for me. I do invest in precious metals like gold and silver, but these don't actively make me money unless I sell them, for example. For me, my precious metals is more of a safe bet for retirement more than anything else. So let's get into my very boring, very steady, future-focused investment strategy. Number one, property. The safest in my opinion and where I hold the majority of my money. The biggest thing that I hear from other people talking about investing on YouTube is that this strategy is almost like, boring because it is too slow growth and it requires too much money to get into. And this saddens me a little bit because I think when people hear that over and over and over again, they automatically dismiss this area of investing. And this is such a precious area of investing and so safe and secure, in my opinion. In every area of investing, there are little subcategories that you can find that are going to be suitable for your needs. For example, I would say it's valuable in your country to find a property investment agency that specializes in helping people to get into property investing and then sit down and have a strategy session with them. In Australia, I use Be Invested. These companies will be able to tell you exactly what it is that you might have to do in order to refine your strategy to be ready for investing in property, or they might show you that you already have enough and there's ways for you to already invest. What about flipping homes? Most people, when they hear this, they freak out like, I could never do flipping homes. That's so expensive and I don't know how to use the tools or anything like that. Maybe, but you can learn to use the tools or you can hire someone. That's possible. Check out John Scholar on YouTube. He flips houses so beautifully and the houses he buys are so affordable. I almost wished I lived in America so I could do the exact same thing because he finds these amazing, amazing deals and he flips them beautifully. Under the property umbrella, have you thought about contacting Airbnbs that have really poor listings and helping them to refine the listing and then making some money out of that, either a flat fee or a percentage of the bookings? The Airbnb strategy, I wouldn't necessarily say that that's an investment strategy, but I'm just trying to show you that if you have an area of investing that you one day want to do, but you might not be ready, maybe there are some different ways that you can start getting into the industry, which is going to help you with the skills that you need later on anyway. So just think outside of the box. So for me personally, right now, I control 5 different dwellings. So I have 4 homes. One of them is this house. This is the office, as well as the primary place of residence. And then in Australia, I have 4 dwellings. One of them is a duplex. My company's acquired all of these dwellings in the last 12 months. I'm going to mention that a lot of property investors look at me like I'm a little bit crazy because I use cash instead of using any loans. A lot of property investors always use what they call good debt because they are then acquiring a lot of properties and then they have mortgages that they pay back and they receive the difference between the mortgage and the rental income, and that's their little paycheck. Now, I choose not to do this. If I did, I would have probably with $1 million Australian acquired 10 to 15 properties roughly for the same amount of money. I'm not doing this because I just don't trust the current financial situation in the world. I am not sure what's going on. I don't want to have debt. I'm just not so sure about this. When I see the world stabilize a little bit and I'll be able to gauge what's going on, I will be learning how to use good debt in order to acquire more properties because that is to me higher risk. So I feel I'll be ready at that stage to take that leap as an investor. But for now, I really wanted to concentrate on owning everything outright. But of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing of what I have done on my own journey. Find out from your professional financial advisor what it is best for you. Number 2, business. This is another area of investing that I don't hear a lot of investing people on YouTube speak about. I think business is one of the greatest ways of multiplying your income. Now, of course, business isn't easy, but name me one thing that is worth pursuing that isn't hard. Just because something isn't easy doesn't mean that it's painful. I think a lot of people think that if it's hard, it must be painful. I love business. I find it so exciting because the challenges that I am faced with, they are really hard and I have to figure out how to make it work. And so I grow as a result of that. I can't think of anything more worthwhile to put my time into. The businesses that I like to get involved in up to this point have been online and selling digital goods. I've always focused on identifying gaps in the markets where I know I'll be able to provide tremendous value with a unique selling point, USP. However, I have recently noticed that most of my businesses are reliant on this pretty thing. They're relying on my face, so I'm always in front of the camera. This is where the most success I've gotten in business. So soon I will be diversifying into business areas where it is not reliant on me and my face. I'm going to be looking at finding gaps in the markets where I can provide tremendous value with a unique selling point, and I'll be just hiring staff to help take care of that, but it will not be reliant on the moneymaker that I have right now. Number 3, cryptocurrency. This is the riskiest of the 3 because no one really knows where cryptocurrency is going. It has the least history behind it, least long-term history. I am still very new to crypto, and I will be honest, even though I have seen a return on my investment with crypto, it still doesn't seem to excite me for some reason. Considering Leon, the co-founder of Abundantia and my sexy man, he is obsessed with crypto. He's very excited about this. He understands this world in and out. But myself, I'm still a little bit skeptical. So I'm still sort of investing just what I'm comfortable with losing, because I really don't know what's going to happen with this. To me, investing in crypto feels a little bit like investing in stocks because it's just so volatile and it's so out of my control. And I don't like that very much. But of course, my attitude towards crypto could cost me a lot because, I mean, we've seen huge gains from crypto. So anyone thinking that I'm still skeptical might be wondering why on earth I would still be skeptical. But that's kind of the investing journey, is that you're going to see a lot of things pass you by in the financial investing world that you could have jumped on the bandwagon and made a lot of money from. But this is just going to happen a lot, because last year there was a lot of, the bull market, the stocks just went up tremendously and so many people made a lot of money out of that. I could be kicking myself because I wasn't involved in stocks. I don't like stocks, but I want to stick to my lane. And I know what works for me. I know what makes me happy and what fills my heart with joy, and stocks is not part of that. So with that being said, out of all the investments that I do, my favorite still is being able to provide as much value as I possibly can. This is why business is my favorite, because it is so in control. I can manipulate it to make sure that it works for me. If the marketing's not working, I know that it's the marketing that's not working, so I have to refine it in order to sell my idea or the product to people. Anyone who is not investing now is missing a tremendous opportunity. Kyla Slim. So even as a newbie in the investment world, I didn't have much, but I knew the fastest way for me to multiply my cash and acquire the knowledge I need in order to make cash is through business. So that was the very first thing I focused on. When the time was right for me and I did acquire some funds, this is when I stepped into the second thing of my investing journey, which was property. At the similar time, I also invested in precious metals, but as I mentioned earlier, this is more for retirement fund rather than making me active passive income. And the last thing that I am doing now is learning about crypto and investing in that. This was the journey that I have personally taken for myself. I suppose what I want you to get out of my investing strategy is that it's different for everyone, and there really isn't a right or wrong in the investment strategy world. It is whatever works for you. Some people thrive in the stock market and they cannot wait. Some people are so excited by just having their regular 9-to-5 job and slowly adding up into their retirement funds or getting a little bit of extra cash slowly over time so that they can buy a second property or a third property, for example, and they just take it really easy. It just varies for different people depending on what kind of person you are, what personality you have, what interests you have. So just don't feel like you're missing out all the time, because the investing world, the financial world is so vast. You have to learn what it is that you enjoy and stick to that lane and be okay if you miss out on some opportunities somewhere else as well. Well, that is it for me. I hope you enjoyed Trinity and myself. If you did, make sure that you like and also subscribe, because we would love to have you here. Also, don't forget the newsletter that people are raving about. And also don't forget that we do have the final little sprint right now of the pre-sale of our course membership combo, where you can get huge discounts for lifetime access. After this, it becomes a yearly subscription. So if you want to find out more about that and see if this is suitable for you, there is a link in the bio to do that. And I will see you in the next one.